David Ortiz story where he did not know Dustin Pedroia's name was Dustin, and they played together for several years.
I love that. But
Big
you know
Papi
what?
didn't care.
There is one name that you cannot forget,
Yeah, what's that?
and that is the name of a man who carries a G, because you only have to see him carry it once, and his name is emblazoned in your mind forever. That is none other than Mr. Aaron Nagler of Cheesehead TV. Nags, what's going on? It's so good to have you join, not at the top of an hour, so I get to do a segue again.
We got the old segue back. Good to
Yes.
hear your voice. Good to hear both of you. What are your names? Bill,
Kenny.
Ted, Jimmy,
I'm Kenny.
John.
Kenny and Derek.
I'm Kenny.
Right.
And Harper, our producer.
And Harper.
Harper.
Yes.
Harper
Little Harper.
Beaumont.
Little Harper over there. How you guys doing? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Aaron Nagler is brought to us on the program by Miller Lite Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference in Rogers Behavioral Health. We're closer to Packers football, my friend. We only have to wait until 3:25.
Good Lord.
Oh, man, only 2 more sleeps.
Feels like it's been forever. And I understand we probably say that every bye week, but
I
man,
know.
it feels like it's been forever since they played football.
It's been like a bye month.
Right, seriously. It really feels like that. I mean, way too long. Way too long. And then what's crazy is that you don't see them play football. They're not out playing games in any meaningful way. They are obviously practicing. And they got a CVS receipt like injury report on a Friday.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
How does that happen? You've had a month off, and you got 10 guys on the injury
10
report?
dudes on the injury
What the hell?
report today, man. Well, they're practicing, and that's not like they're out there just stretching.
Well-
Like they do practice, so things happen. And apparently, the one that's really disconcerting is the Jair Alexander one, because like with Elton Jenkins and all these other, like I know when the injury happened. Like Elton hurt his knee in week 2. I understand that, right? And like he was able to go against Vegas. He's back on the injury report. Didn't practice today. Hopefully that's precautionary. We'll see. But man, Jair Alexander came back for that Vegas game, had a week off, practiced on Wednesday, and then was limited on Thursday and did not practice at all today. And LaFleur, at his presser earlier, indicated there's some concern there. So you guys, with the back injuries, there's always tricky. You never know when they're going to flare up. And when they do, man, they can put you down for the count. So I'll be shocked if Jair's out there at this point on Sunday.
And then Devondre Campbell was out jogging around today?
Yeah, he was jogging around, but he'll be listed as doubtful, which is pretty much a guarantee that he won't play.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's at least a week away still. So, man, I don't know. McDuffie and Wilson, they'll have to keep holding it down there in the middle. Maybe Quay Walker can give it a go, but they'll be platooning those guys throughout the game, no doubt about it.
All right, well, Nags, big picture. You looked at the schedule, and I know you don't take anything for granted in the National
Never.
Football League because everybody gets paid. But you figured the Packers would have to win at least one. It would have been nice to have 2 of the games against the Raiders and the Broncos.
Yeah.
And now this is flipping into the kind of the must-win season on the line category for me.
Well, I don't know about season on the line, but it's a game they should win. But, of course, the Raiders game was a game they should have won. And the Falcons game was a game they should have won. There's the only game that I've watched the Green Bay Packers play this year where I was like, that other team is clearly better, was the Detroit game. Like, that was the only time it was like,
Yes.
okay, they're clearly the better squad. But other than that, the Packers are as good as these teams they're losing to. They just keep shooting themselves in the foot. So my question is, does the bye week help them get on the right track offensively? Because we know that's the whole problem here. So I don't have an answer to that question, obviously, but I'm fascinated to find out on Sunday if they come out, look really efficient. Obviously, hopefully Aaron Jones is able to go, and that'll help in that regard. But, if they do come out, stubbing their toe, kind of not able to pick up first downs and look like they've looked the last 3 or 4 games, I'm not going to be surprised. That's the other thing. That might just be who they are.
I'm going to be surprised if they come out and they're
I'm not.
First series, we get 2 false starts and you're behind the sticks again.
Oh, that would be
That's going to surprise me. I'm sorry. It's going to be like, what the hell?
With the team, and we've said over the years, you've got a handful of really good teams and then a big pile of mediocrity.
Yes.
Okay. We've never been in the pile before.
It's been a long time.
Where games could go,
time.
where almost every game could go either way.
Yep.
So, we just got to get used to it. And
Although I will
Aaron
say,
Jones back will be great.
Aaron Jones will help immensely. And I know a lot of people I've seen online are saying like, oh, well, he doesn't like fix everything. And it's like, no, he doesn't fix everything. And he's certainly not going to, I don't expect him to come in and put up like 200 yards and score 3 touchdowns, but I do expect him to help the offense overall, with its efficiency and staying ahead of the sticks and picking up first downs and just extending drives. I mean, more than ever, they need to do that this week. Playing at elevation, the defense, by design, essentially, lets teams like have these 5, 7, 10 play drives. They're going to be out on the field for a while. They need more than ever this week some complementary football. They need their offense to get on track.
It seems to me, we're chatting with Aaron Nagler, cheeseheadtv.com here on the Drew and KB program. It seems to me when you go play in a warm weather place, there's all this, hydration talk and stuff. Nobody ever really talks about the altitude
It's real,
at
man.
Mile
It's
High,
legit.
but it's an advantage.
It's a legit
You feel
thing.
it.
No doubt. It is legit.
I know, because back when I was traveling with the Brewers, Bill Schroeder used to wake me up, get my hungover ass out of bed, take me for a walk, and we'd walk around Denver, and it was a beautiful city, and I'd
Gorgeous,
be
and
like
you're
extra
sucking
tired,
wind.
like sucking
I
wind.
know,
Like,
right?
yeah, I know I'm
So
hungover
true.
and out of shape, but damn,
Man, this is
feels
ridiculous.
worse.
And that
Yeah.
dehydrates you too.
Exactly.
It's insult to injury, but no, it's very real, and I'm, always curious about travel planning and what they're going to do differently or what have you. But I don't think they're going out Saturday like they usually do.
Yeah, most teams do. They
Kinda
just treat it like it's like suck it
assimilate.
up.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
It is
But
what
again,
it is.
and why it's so important.
But-
It's so important this week. Offense has got to show up.
But again,
Has to.
now that's where, okay, there's nothing you can do if Rashid jumps off sides on second down or something. There's nothing you can
Right.
do. It's been happening.
Yep.
Almost alarming in its
Yep.
frequency.
Yep.
With the penalties and stuff that have put them behind the sticks. And again, to avoid the 3rd and 12s, let's get some 2nd and 2s and turn Jordan Love
This
loose.
is what I'm about. It's the life I
And
want to live,
so-
man.
But with almost 3 weeks, one game in 23 days, I would hope that they are slipping in a little something that they watched from scanning. Like, we all watch the Red Zone channel.
Right.
Some of those Miami formations look pretty sweet. Let's go.
Yeah, I keep
do they
hearing this,
ever?
and I know Runyon had that
I
quote
know.
where he talked about it at his locker, like some things they want to kind of maybe steal or emulate or whatever. And it's like, yeah, are you bringing Tyreek Hill with you? I mean, is
That
Waddle
would help.
getting on the plane? I mean, I understand everybody wanting to steal from everybody else, and there's no doubt that there's designs out there and things that maybe you can kind of ape or try to borrow from. But man, Miami is doing stuff because they are situated as far as their personnel goes to blow you off the field with their speed. And I know the Packers have some youth, some explosiveness, some speed for the first time seemingly in forever at the skill position spots, but it ain't Tyreek Jared Waddle speed. Come on. Let's relax on that.
I'm just looking for some flow is what I want.
Yes. Well, again, I think Aaron Jones helps solve a lot of that. And I know people are probably
I
sick
agree.
of hearing Aaron Jones this and Aaron Jones that, but he is the thing that makes it go on offense in Green Bay.
He is one of your best players, and 2 of your best offensive players,
Get him the
arguably
ball.
the top 2, are out with Bakhtiari and him, and they have been. So,
Yep.
okay, get him the ball. And Jordan Love's best game came when,
Aaron Jones was
Jones
playing.
Was Aaron Jones was playing.
Most of the
And
game.
not only when Aaron Jones was, playing in said game, but on the drives where Aaron Jones was featured were the drives they scored on. This is not
Yes.
rocket science.
Well, it's just another dimension. They were playing one dimension without him.
That's right. 100%. Especially
Well,
stylistically. I mean, a lot
right.
between the tackle stuff, grinding it out. You're not going to generate explosive plays that way. It just doesn't happen.
These are 2 teams you would think with different paradigms. There will be the usual influx of Packers fans invading Denver, right? Stadium takeover.
No doubt.
We hate it when the Lions do it at Lambeau, but we love it when the Packers do it on the road,
We just
which
blame
they
the gold-
kind of did
we
at
just-
Vegas.
We just blame the gold package and move on.
That's right. And then, but the thing is, in Denver, we talked to a fellow yesterday from Denver Sports, and he was like, the fans there want them to tank and are cheering against them and would be cheering kind of against their
Crazy.
success to some.
Crazy.
So,
right?
Nags, when I break down games, a lot of times, if you're asking me to bet the mortgage, I look at the matchups, and when the teams are even, these teams appear to be pretty close to even,
Mhm.
all things considered, elevation, home field.
Right.
Packers are what, a 2.5 point favorite on the road, which, okay, that's maybe they'd be 4 or 5 point favorites at Lambeau.
Tell you
Whatever.
what, I hate betting against a home dog. Hate it.
Yeah. And the
Hate it.
thing is, to me, though, when I do parse those, the thing that tips the scale is which quarterback do I like more? Do I trust more? And
I mean-
where is that with Russell Wilson? Oh my,
Which is
he used
so
to be a guy
weird
that
to
I would
think,
throw in
you
with
know.
and say, well, he's better than the other guy. I'm taking them. Not anymore.
No, he's had a rough stretch, and what's crazy is that you've heard so much about their defense and how poor it's been this year, and it has been poor. That's no doubt about it. But with that said, these last couple games, they've played much better and much more consistently on defense. So I know a lot of people I've heard in my like both on our chats at Cheesehead TV and in my mentions on Twitter, oh, well, this is the game where the offense clearly is just going to walk down the field. And I'm thinking, did you watch the Chiefs game? Have you watched the Jets game? Like, the Denver defense has started to figure it out. I'm not saying like they're so much better than because they had nowhere to go but up after those first couple games. But man, they're trending in the right direction on defense, and I think they've simplified some stuff. They've got good guys in their defensive backfield. I'm just, this idea that the Packers are just going to show up on offense and like the Broncos are going to be the fix-it for them. I don't see that. I think this is going to be a struggle, much like all the other games have been a struggle. I just want some more efficiency on the offensive side from Green Bay.
Well, nobody, I hate to say that, nobody's fearing the Packers right now.
No,
they don't
of
give
course
you
not.
anything to fear.
Of course.
Right?
Why would anyone be scared of facing the Packers?
You're just
goodness.
not.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not. That defense
Nothing
doesn't scare you.
No.
I mean, Rashawn Gary's a nice player. They got some nice players, but they don't scare you.
Nope.
I'm not.
I had a section of the schedule on my Twitter the other day, and someone said, "Oh, that's a bunch of winnable games." And I said, "You realize all those teams are looking at the Packers and saying the exact same thing. That's a winnable game. Because that's what these are now."
Get. Yeah. Yeah. That's our life now.
Yes, it is.
We're
Welcome
living.
to it. Welcome to 2023.
We're
Although,
in the last shot of Goodfellas.
It ain't that different than last year. Like everyone seems to
That's
conveniently
true.
forget because
Well-
Aaron Rodgers was in town. It's like they lost 5 games in a row last year. It's not like this is some juggernaut that just kind of flipped a switch
That
or whatever.
wasn't fun. But it does appear though, like if you look at the Broncos, they're trying to avoid going into the deep death spiral that the Saints are in.
Yes.
Right? 'Cause
Seriously.
you're looking at a couple of years, like you got to get out from Russell Wilson's deal. Like you got to.
The Saints are in hell. You talk
Saints
about
are in hell. The Saints are as screwed as
my
anybody,
gosh.
as screwed as you can be.
I mean, Packers
basically.
fans complain about Gutekunst and the upper management and how they've handled the transition from Aaron Rodgers. Man, they should be down on their knees thanking the Packers for how they handled the transition away from Rodgers. Because go look at the Saints. Go look at their cap situation these next couple of years. They are in hell.
They're
in a way
over
the
the
Packers
cap already for
won't
next
be.
year, just
Yes.
paying guys
It's
deferred
nuts.
money.
Dude,
and
it's
stuff.
nuts.
So, okay, but Denver could be headed that way. There's talk that they might trade a bunch of guys and just try to.
They're going to probably get out of Russell Wilson's deal this offseason. It's
there's getting out of that deal, and then there's paying him the $37 million residually that you got to pay him.
they're going to pay the piper, no doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't want to see he still kind of got it game from him at all.
If there's somebody that can make him look like he's still kind of got it, it's Joe Barry.
Can we manufacture? Oh God! Can we manufacture some good beef between the Broncos? Because
I know, right?
Russell, okay, we hated him in Seattle, but now you almost feel sorry for him.
Yep.
Sean Payton, kind of the same thing. Like
Sean Payton is sub McCarthy. That's all I need. He gets all this praise, or he used to before he arrived in Denver and started sucking up the joint. But he got all the shine from the national media for being this offensive genius and blah, blah, blah. And Mike McCarthy gets labeled like a buffoon. He doesn't know what he's doing. McCarthy won more games, won a championship, and never went 7-9 3 years in a row the way Peyton did with Breeze. So for me, it's all about beating Sean Payton because I hate that he gets all this love that is completely undeserved.
Yeah, he kind of does. But he already had his when Hackett and the Jets got him, right?
I know.
They already
That's
had
the
their
revenge
moment.
factor. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, so I can't ride in that wake.
Right.
I need something fresh.
I'll
I'm with
introduce
you. I
you.
don't
I'll
like
send
the
some.
guy.
I'll send some Broncos fans your way so you can drink their
Okay.
tears on Monday.
Wow.
That should do it. That should juice it up.
Jealous of Broncos fans. Tears. Oh, there's so many. It's going to be so many. It's going to be so
So
awesome.
for me,
Do we
that's
drink
funny you say that. For me,
for
it's all about
Denver?
revenge for the
We
Super
should
Bowl.
smoke it.
It's revenge for the Super Bowl.
Yes. Okay.
Anytime we face the Broncos, it's revenge for the Super Bowl.
Revenge for the Super Bowl that was contested when most of the players weren't even born. Yeah, but that's good. We'll
No, because for us,
For
for
us,
fans,
yes.
you're asking for your motivation. I'm
I'm
not asking
with
you to
you.
get up in front of the team and make a speech. This is for you, the fan, needing something to, sink your teeth into. Never forget the Denver Broncos skirted the salary cap. That Super Bowl victory should have an asterisk next to it. Don't get me started.
I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to find.
The revenge for an unfair Super Bowl. That's what this is.
Right. That's
Oh,
good.
boy.
Okay. Fire up then. Thanks. You got me fired up now.
There you go.
All right. What else are we watching? Like Eric Stokes isn't playing. Devondre's probably not playing. Jair's probably not playing. So what does this defensive effort look like? What does Joe Barry dial up? They still have to stop the run, right? Because Russell's not the threat that he was to run.
And they're like a triple-headed monster, if I guess if you call it a monster. But they've got definite running back by committee. And they've got some receivers. They got talent outside on the perimeter. They haven't really done a great job of spreading the ball around in that regard. But look, you've seen flashes all year, and you guys know Russell Wilson. All it takes is one play. I mean, he can look like dog for an entire game and then pull out some third down escape out the pocket, make a huge play, and it turns the entire game on its head. He's still capable of doing that. So for me, it's about making sure you tell Preston, Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, whoever's rushing off these edges, make sure you are keeping contained, because this is a guy who can still get it done on the perimeter.
Still be scared about him.
No doubt.
All right. I feel reasonably confident, but again, there's just that feeling that you don't know what to expect.
I don't know why you feel confident. I do not feel confident. There's no confidence in this team.
But my confidence is that the Packers have to overcome their biggest opponent, which to date has been the Packers. Yes, it's been the Packers. And I just, for all the talk about clean things up, I guess maybe I'm putting faith into this staff, and then it'll either be validated or not on Sunday.
I was going to say that's a leap of faith right there, my brother. I don't know.
For now, yes, but it's the leash is getting shorter on that. The reservoir is getting depleted of faith in this coaching
I hear you, and I should have probably more faith than I do, but I don't. I'm in the very much in that you got to show it to me, especially coming off a bye where they haven't been particularly successful under LaFleur in the regular season. They've done all right in the playoffs, but in the regular season. Are we
preconditioned? Obviously, we'll celebrate if it's a victory, no matter how ugly it might be.
Please.
But are we preconditioned to poo-poo it just because it is Denver and they gave up 70 earlier this year?
I'm not. I get why fans might be, but I'll be sipping champagne, man. Victor, like Rasul said in the locker room the other day, they haven't had a victory since early September.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since they put one up in the W column. I'll celebrate every single W this year.
Saints game,
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! All right, Nags. Well, have a great weekend. 2 more sleeps, still Packers football.
Let's go. Let's go.
Congratulations! I saw the list. Cheesehead TV's got the list, right? Carry the G is popping up.
Yes,
everywhere.
sir. 200 plus locations across the state. Find it all over Milwaukee.
Our bourbon is coming out shortly, so we'll be doing some daggers.
And I know you guys are going to be hanging out with Corey Banke on November 3rd. So
that's right.
Get ready for that.
Revere's in Delafield.
Revere's in Delafield.
Yes.
It's going to be a good time. But Carry the G will flow. We'll get some bourbon. It's going to be a good time.
Fantastic.
Lots of fun.
Can't wait. All right, Nags, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday, win or lose.
Go Pack, go. Have a good weekend, guys.
All right. Aaron Nagler, cheeseheadtv.com. Our